Hello everyone, my name is Jack and I have just come back from watching Thor Love and Thunder, and this film is some of the most retarded shit I have ever seen in my life. This film is so bad in so many different ways, not just the plot, but things like the CGI. For example, we have here Natalie Portman, who is clearly not in the same scene as Chris Hemsworth, right? It is clear that she is in front of a green screen. And, I've used this screenshot, so it might not be as clear. But if you were to go and look at, you know, a much more HD version, I think there was actually like a trailer or a trailer spot where they had this particular scene. It's very clear how bad the green screen effects are, and it's not just this scene. There are some other scenes that are just as bad. They do not look like they're in the same room, let alone in the same scene. It's just very shoddily done, and considering that this is a Disney film, that this is a Marvel Disney film, it should be looking good. For example, Disney owns Star Wars, and you take a film like, say, The Force Awakens or The Last Jedi. Even though those films are bad films, like they are badly written, they are badly acted, they are bad in so many different ways. It still looks good. It still looks good because it's using Disney's money to make it look good. It looks like an epic film, just from the trailers. Because, money can make things look good. But with this film, the money is just not there. It doesn't look like it's. It actually looks like it's a cheap film when we also know that it's not. It's not a cheap film, right? It's an expensive film, but it looks cheap because of the CGI. I mean, it's very clear that the people behind it have not had the amount of time to make it look like the CGI is good. There are various different scenes where like in particular in this scene, some of the God Butcher's minions look a bit rough here and there, and this scene in particular, where it's clearly green screen. It's if you're going to use special effects and you're going to go and use you know CGI or green screen or stuff like that, you need to give the people who are making it time to actually develop it, to make it look like it's in the world that they are in, rather than just saying, all right, you've got this amount of time, just do your best. It's very clear. It has an effect, especially on something that you think is going to be expensive, right? It's Disney's money, and it just looks so cheap, so very cheap. But enough of that. Let's get into just some of the excuse me, just some of the bad elements in this film that is just very cringeworthy. So, first thing, Jane Foster. Jane Foster forges Mjolnir. Jane Foster forges Mjolnir, but She doesn't forge it by, getting the shards and putting it together and making it herself. No, no, no. She forges Mjolnir by standing next to it. She literally just stands next to Mjolnir, and Mjolnir decides, I'm going to go and reforge myself into a hammer because of this girl. That is it. That is some of the most retarded and lazy. It's retarded, but it's one of the most laziest writing I have ever seen. Right? It's up there. It's up there with the explanation on how the Emperor returns in Rise of Skywalker. Oh yeah, the Emperor just returned using dark Sith magic. That's it. That's the explanation. Oh, how did Mjolnir, reforge itself? Oh, Jane Foster was standing next to it. That that is it. That is literally it. Right? There's no secret incantation. There's no, there's one that I thought was going to happen, which was Valkyrie was going to reforge Mjolnir, and it was going to be like on display, and people would try and pull it, like lift it, kind of like Sword in the Stone, Excalibur and all that kind of stuff. I thought it was going to be kind of like that, but no. Jane Foster was just near it, just near the shards, and then Mjolnir just pieced itself together, and not only that, but Jane Foster is an expert at wielding it, right? Better than Thor. And I want you to remember, Thor has had decades, no, not even decades, centuries, maybe even a millennia of time using that hammer, right? He would have had so much experience on wielding it, whether it be in battle or in training. He should be the expert. But with Jane Foster, she has, and I am being very generous here, very generous, she has had a weekend, like let's say 3 days, 3 days to actually go and use the hammer and master it better than Thor. And when I say I am being very generous, because like it's hard to get a pinpoint on the time scale, but I reckon that in reality it's more like 24 hours. Like 24 hours, she found out that she can now wield Mjolnir, that she's forged Mjolnir and can use it, and within 24 hours she is now an expert. It's stupid. It's utter crap. And, it's very clear what they're trying to do. They're trying to prop up female Thor and push down Thor, right? Thor gets cucked in his own movie. And not only just cucked, he gets castrated in this movie, right? Thor looks like a whiny bitch in this film, right? He's constantly talking about how, about it's the ex that got away. They use references of like Jane having Mjolnir and Thor having Stormbreaker as like Mjolnir's the ex, and he's got Stormbreaker as his new girlfriend. It's all these kinds of ex relationship drama type things, and it's really cringy. Like in this film, there is so many bad jokes. The humour in this film is so bad. It's so bad. It's cringy as hell, and it's so bad. You know, there was a joke that I liked, which was right at the beginning, where Thor uses Stormbreaker as like a magic broomstick, and he flies to go into battle. I laughed, but the reason I laughed was not because it was, like a kind of Harry Potter reference type thing. I laughed because of how absurd it was, how stupid it was. It didn't seem like it should have been in a Thor film or even a Marvel film. It looked like it should have been in a parody film. It should have been like it should have been a scene in Robot Chicken, you know? It should have been something like that. Like the comedy is very very bad, and of course you have people making fun of Thor. You know, Thor is the goofy guy who is just seen as being you know just like stupid, basically. Uh, uh, Thor is not seen as like a strong warrior, a strong masculine figure or anything like that. He is actually seen as like a whiny little bitch, you know, just like moping about like oh I can't get over my exes. Uh, oh, my ex has now got my hammer and all that. I'm all sad, and it's like, why are you sad? And also, in this film, they make it so that Thor is trying to find himself. This is, I think, his fifth time that Thor has tried to find himself, to try and find out who he is as a character. He tried to find himself in Thor. He tried to find himself again in Thor Dark World. He tried to find himself again in Thor Ragnarok. He tried to find himself again in not Thor, Avengers Infinity War. And he tries to find himself again in Avengers Endgame. So, yeah, this will be actually it's his sixth time trying to find himself as a character, trying to find out who he is as a character, whether he is a good character, like whether he's a good person, whether he's a bad person, whether he's going to, be a king or anything like that. Oh yeah, Valkyrie. Valkyrie is King Valkyrie. You know, yeah. Let's just go and make, you know, let's ignore the fact that a queen is a very important figure. No, 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 no. A queen is not as good as a king, so we have to have Valkyrie be a king. Because that's how progression works. Apparently, I mean, I've mentioned it in my previous videos, so I'm not gonna go on about it. But I still think that's retarded as well. I don't know why she is called King Valkyrie. She'd just be Queen Valkyrie. Anyway. Yeah. Oh yeah. Everyone's gay. Everyone is gay in this film. So Valkyrie is gay. I forget the rock guy who Taika Waititi does. Is it? I don't know. I'm not even gonna pretend to know. But the rock guy that Taika Waititi voices, right? His dad is gay because he says that his dad met his other dad and made him. So yeah, both his dads are gay. And then right at the end of the movie, he is seen with a rock guy with a moustache, a handlebar moustache. So yeah, everyone's gay. You know, everyone's gay. Also, Valkyrie, you know, it's she goes and kisses, uh, you know, a woman's hand to be like, oh look, I'm flirtatious and all that kind of stuff. It's like, oh, you know, it's bad. It's bad. Oh, also, why is it that they had why is it that they had the the rock guy who is supposed to be now like the gay love interest? Why did they make it have a handlebar mustache? I mean, seriously, like, how stereotypical can you get for a stereotype of a gay person? You know, I'm pretty sure that the progressives don't want to go and have the whole stereotypical view of gay people, yet they go and push it in, you know, films to promote their propaganda. It's stupid. It's stupid. Uh, Also, another thing, they made Thor's power into a joke. They made Thor's power into a joke right at the end of the movie, because Thor goes and gives all these kids that have been kidnapped by the God Butcher Goro. They go. He go and gives all of his powers to all of these kids. So all of these kids now have the power of Thor, and you literally just have a load of kids with like various different objects going and destroying all these like all the minions, and like there's like a little girl with like a teddy bear, and they're like using the teddy bear's eyes as lasers. Like, yeah, it's like, what are you doing? Why are you making Thor's powers into a fucking child's plaything, into a fucking joke? Because a lot of people in the cinema were laughing at this scene. They were laughing, and it's like, is this really what you want? You want to have people laugh at these kids who are essentially fighting for their lives, and you're making it into like oh well, they have these powers now, so they're all right. It's like, well, you've took the fear of death out of that scene now, because you know that these kids aren't going to get hurt, they're not going to die, they're not going to get injured even, because you've made all the kids be able to not only have Thor's power, but to use Thor's power as if it was a child's plaything. Also, why are these kids able to go and use Thor's power without any training whatsoever? They're kids, right? I can understand it more so with adults because they would have had training, but these are kids. They've never had training before. Right? I think they even actually say at the end of the film that the kids start going in and start doing self-defense training. So yeah, they've never actually had training before, but they're able to use Thor's powers as if it were second nature. So yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know why I'm trying to make sense of this. Oh yeah, one more thing. Thanos's ice cream shop. So so Asgard has an ice cream shop uh, that has a giant Thanos um, Infinity Gauntlet hand gauntlet holding an ice cream with the Infinity Stones as like sprinkles on top of it. Why have they got that in this show, in this movie? It it Thanos snapped half of the universe out of existence. Half of it just gone. You know, Valkyrie was one of the Valkyrie was one of the uh, uh, what was one of the victims. You know, she got snapped. She disappeared. You know, and she only came back when right at the end of Endgame. So she was gone. I'm pretty sure she shouldn't have had an ice cream shop promoting the snap. Right? It shouldn't happen. I know. I mean, there should have been outrage, right? Because, like, if we're talking about it in terms of like real life, in terms of a real life thing, people have tried to profit off of major events and try to create things that are kind of you know wrong in many different ways. I mean, there was like a theme park in America where they had a ride that was the ride was supposed to be about Princess Diana crashing in a limo. You know that it was supposed to be a ride like that, and and they that it was very clear that they were trying to profit off of her death, and I don't even know the details of what the ride was, but I think it was supposed to be like a conspiracy type ride, and you were supposed to be in the limo, uh, like going through various different scenes, and you're trying to outrun the paparazzi, or you're trying to outrun like a sniper or something like that. And obviously, it never got you know they never made the ride like that. But it shows that yeah, there are things that are you know very touchy things to go and do, right? But they never did anything for that ride because of the subject matter. The subject matter is you know is not something that you can just make fun of, right? And in this world, in the Marvel universe, you're not going to easily make fun off of the snap that literally took half of all life from the universe and it just made it disappear, right? You're not going to go and make an ice cream parlor out of it, and Valkyrie shouldn't have allowed that to happen, right? She got snapped. She shouldn't have allowed it to happen, and I don't even know why I'm surprised because the movie is very clearly it doesn't care. It doesn't care about how the characters will react to something like that. They just they don't care. They don't care. You know, it is very much like they've decided, right, I have an idea on what I want to do. I want to make female Thor. I want to make the mighty Thor, and I want to also prop up, you know, females and, you know, female ideology, and push them up and make them, you know, strong, independent, don't need no man to tell me what to do, you know, powerful women. And the best way to do that, right, rather than, you know, having good characters, intriguing storylines, and, you know, an amazing cast, rather than doing all of that, let's just go and make the man look inept. That is the best way to do it. Or the retarded way to do it. To end my point, fuck this movie. Fuck it in the arse. Anyway, like and subscribe if you like what I have to say. Leave a comment. Leave a like. If you don't like it, you know, leave a dislike and comment to say how much I'm a misogynistic arsehole. It's very entertaining either way. Anyway, guys, catch you later. Bye.